In machine learning, what is supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcement learning or RL? So, we are living in a world of humans and machines. Humans have been learning and evolving from the past experience for billions of years, while the era of machines and robots has just begun. These machines or robots need to be instructed to perform. But what if machine started to learn for their own, and this is where the machine learning comes into picture. So what exactly is machine learning? So machine learning is a subset of AI, that is artificial intelligence. It focuses mainly on the designing of systems, thereby allowing them to learn and make predictions based on subset of matrices in machines. Traditionally, humans have analyzed data and adapted their culture from their past data. However, as the volume of data exceeds the ability for human approach, it becomes possible to quickly and automatically produce models that can analyze bigger, more complex data and deliver fast, more accurate results even on a very large scale. Machine learning can be of three types. The first one is supervised. The second one is unsupervised. And the third one is reinforcement or RL. Supervised learning, as the name suggests, has the presence of a supervisor, or you can say a guide or a teacher. So supervised learning is when we teach or train the machine using data that is properly labeled. So a priori, we already know that what it has, these three are there inside this, which means some data is already tagged with the correct answer. After that, the machine is provided with a new set of data so that the supervised learning algorithm analyzes the training data and produces the correct outcome from the labeled data. So it is already known that what is going to be the result. Supervised learning can be classified into two categories of algorithm. The first is classification. So a classification problem is when the output category or variable is a category. So whatever is coming outside is a proper category, like you see here, the red and blue. So these are two categories. For example, disease or no disease. This is also a category. So this is the first kind of classification where the output variable is a category. For instance, suppose that you are given a basket fruit, or you can say basket filled with fruit. So the first one is to train the machine, this machine, with all different fruits one by one. This one, this one, this one by one. So telling that if the shape of the object is long, this one, curvy or cylindrical shape having green yellow color, it will be labeled as banana. If the shape is rounded, has a depression at the top, is red in color, then it will be labeled as apple. So now we have trained it. After training the data, now you will give a separate, or you can say a new fruit, say banana, from the basket and ask the algorithm to identify it. Since the machine has already learned the thing from the previous data, this time this will use it wisely. So it will first classify the fruit with its shape, color, and would confirm that the fruit name is actually banana, right? And it will put it this in the banana category. Thus the machine learns things from training data. That is, this is your training data. This is your basket containing fruits. And then applies the knowledge to test data. That is, any new fruit can be classified either into a banana or an apple. The second category of supervised learning is regression. So a regression problem is when the output variable is not a category but a real value. That is, it can be dollars, it's a real value, it can be weight. So here the second category of supervised learning, which is we are calling it as regression. Let us take an example of supervised learning. So this is the input data, say it is X, and what will be Y? What will be the output? So let us train the machine first. That is, in a machine you give 1, say this line is a machine. So when you give 1, it gives you 1. When you give 3, it gives you 9, so it's 3 square. When you give 4, it gives 16, so that is going to be 4 square. Actually it's 1 square. 7, it's going to give you 7 square, 49. So the machine knows, we have trained it already, that what is going to be the result. So it will give you what? 100. And there will be a function approximation, because this function fx equals x square will give all the result, and now the machine is trained for it. Let us take an example of data processing. Say for an individual, he has some year of experience, say X. So what will be the salary? So depending upon the years of experience, we are interested in finding the salary. But for that we need some data. So we will have two categories of data. One, the training set data, and that the other will be the test data. That will be the test data. So these both are taken from here only. For example, this training data C1, 3, 6 is taken from here. 1, 3, 6. And the test data is again taken from this basic data only. That is, the second one has gone to test data. The fourth one has gone to this test data. So it's upon you how much you want to go for training set and how much you go for test set. What will be the next process? With the training set, we'll train the algorithm, and once we have got the data, we can plot a line or a curve that what will be the salary and experience relation, that for a particular experience what should be the salary. So we know already that we have a straight line equation which is y equals mx plus c. So now we have fitted here y equals b0 plus b1 plus x1 is nothing but y equals mx plus c. For every x, that is for every experience value, we want y, that is the salary. So now if you see here, we have already trained, the function is known, and now with the training set we have got this, and with this test data again we'll apply and we'll get the same thing, and we are able to predict now any salary for any experience. These are the list of common algorithms, that is the nearest neighbor, naive Bayes, decision trees, linear regression, support vector machine, and neural networks. Unsupervised learning. So unsupervised learning is the training of a machine using information that is neither classified nor labeled, allowing the algorithm to act on that information without guidance. So there is no training data or training set or a priori guidance, teacher, nothing is there. So here the task of the machine is to group this unsorted information according to its similarities, according to its pattern, according to the differences without any a prior or prior training of data. Because we have seen that in supervised learning, there was teacher, but unlike supervised learning, no teacher or no guidance or no training is provided. That means no training will be given to the machine a priori. So the machine doesn't know that what are the categories to be found, what are the clusters to be found. It doesn't know. So unsupervised learning is classified into two categories of algorithm. The first is clustering. So this clustering problem is where you want to discover the inherent groupings in the data. For example, you want to group the customers by purchasing behavior. This is clustering. Let us take a very basic example. Suppose here is an image having both dogs and the cats, which the algorithm has never seen. So the machine has no idea about the feature of dogs or cats. We can't categorize it as dog or cats, but it can categorize them according to their similarities, their patterns and differences. That is, we can easily categorize the picture into two parts. The first part will contain all the pictures having the dog in it. The second part may contain all the pictures which are having cats in it. So here you didn't learn anything before. That is the algorithm, which means no training data or example is being given. So now it allows the model to work on its own to discover patterns and information that was previously undetected. So here it will categorize, or you can say cluster it to two categories. One is all with dog pictures and then all with cat pictures. So it allows model to discover patterns, information, right? Let us take an example here that we have a salary and we don't know anything about this and how it is going to make clusters. See, anything which is 2000 and below, it will put in one cluster. Anything which is greater than 2000, it will put in a cluster. For example, if we make a graph of this, this is clearly shown or seen by our naked eyes. We can see here that here we have this 1200 and this 1100. But these three are corresponding to 4200, 4150 and 4300. So this is another cluster. Now the machine or the algorithm can categorize this into low earning group and high earning group. This is unsupervised learning. Now the second category of unsupervised learning is association. This is association. So this association rule learning problem is where you want to discover rules that describe large portions of your data, such as people who buy X also tend to buy Y. Here is customer 1. Now he is buying these stuff. So we see that with bread he buys milk. The second customer, he buys many things, but with bread he buys milk. Now tell me that what the customer 3 would buy if he is buying a bread. It is highly likely that he is going to purchase for milk. So this is the association kind of unsupervised learning. So these are the unsupervised learning algorithm. K means clustering, K nearest neighbor, hierarchical clustering, anomaly detection, neural network, PCA or principal component analysis, independent component analysis, a priori algorithm, singular value decomposition, reinforcement learning or RL. Now this is the area of machine learning. It is also all about taking suitable action to maximize reward in a particular situation. So it is all about maximizing the reward. It is employed by various software and machines to find the best possible behavior or the path you see here it should take in a specific situation. In reinforcement learning or RL, the reinforcement agent, here is an agent. So it decides what to do, how to perform the given task. In the absence of a training dataset, there is no training dataset, nothing. It is bound to learn from its experiences only. There are certain terms which are used in the RL or reinforcement learning. First is your agent. So who is the agent? Agent is an entity that can perceive or explore the environment and act upon it. So what is the environment then? Environment is a situation in which an agent is present or surrounded by. In RL, we assume the stochastic environment, that is, we assume that it is random in nature. Then comes these actions. So actions are the moves taken by the agent within the environment. Then we have state. State is the situation returned by the environment after each action taken by the agent. So every time it takes, some environment will give you some kind of return. And what will be the return? It will be a reward or a punishment. So reward is a feedback returned to the agent from the environment to evaluate the action of the agent, that is good or bad. So along with this, we have a policy. This policy is a strategy. applied by the agent to the next action based on the current state. What is the value? Value, it is expected long-term retuned with the discount factor and opposite to the short-term reward. Then we have Q value. This is similar to the value, that is this is almost similar to this one, but it takes an additional parameter as a current action, which is A. Now just take an example. You can easily train your dog, that is, dog doesn't understand any language, but you can train him. But now we are looking for a solution which is under RL. That is, we emulate a situation and dog will respond in different ways. Okay. So in a different way, that is, we will say the dog, okay, we want the dog to move its head or move its ear. So how does it work? That is, dog will learn from its positive experiences what to do. And dog will learn from its negative experiences. If you don't treat him or if you don't reward him food, then it will learn from its negative experiences. So you see here what all naming is there. Your dog is an agent. We are talking about RL. We are not anything teaching him. Whatever he is doing, we are just rewarding or punishing. So here dog is the agent that is exposed to the environment. And in this case, what is your environment? It will be your house. So an example of state could be your dog standing here. Now it is in present state, which is standing. And now you will use some specific word, any specific word that will make the dog to move its ears or head. So now our agent will respond, will react, performing an action, transition from one state to another. So how it transforms from one state to another? It may move its ear or head. So this is the second state or the other state the dog has in being. Okay. So the reaction of the agent is an action, and the policy is method of selecting an action giving a state in expectation of better outcomes. Now after this transition has happened, the dog may get reward or penalty in return, so that if he has done good, because he is doing good, so we'll reward him. This is how he will be rewarded. Okay. So this is the whole RL process. There are two important learning models in RL, which is the Markov decision process and the Q learning, MDP and Q learning. This RL is used in robotics, that is for robot navigation, robo soccer, walking, juggling. In control for various process, admission control and telecommunication, a helicopter pilot is an example of this. Game playing, that is tic-tac-toe or chess. In chemistry, optimizing the chemical reactions. In business, strategy planning. Then manufacturing, robots use this deep reinforcement learning to pick up goods and put them in some containers. And in finance sector, for evaluating trading strategies. This is all about this discussion. Thank you so much. Take care of yourself.